Lynn was a young woman full of passion and enthusiasm. She always set ambitious goals for herself, hoping to achieve success quickly in both work and life. However, after each attempt, she faced failure and saw no significant progress. Her efforts did not yield the desired results, making her feel discouraged and lose motivation. She started questioning whether she was on the right path. Negative thoughts frequently appeared in her mind, making her exhausted and doubtful of her abilities. Lynn constantly compared herself to those around her, seeing them succeed while she seemed to be standing still. This only added to her pressure and confusion. One day, feeling exhausted and disheartened, Lynn decided to visit her uncle, a longtime stone sculptor whom she greatly admired for his patience and skill. As she stepped into his workshop, she was immediately drawn to a large stone with deep indentations, which looked quite unusual. She couldn't understand how such a hard rock could have such clear indentations. Curious, she asked her uncle, "What tool did you use to create these marks?" He smiled and pointed at a drop of water falling from the roof onto the rock. "Do you see that? It wasn't a hammer or chisel, but the water drop itself that made these marks." Lynn was astonished and asked again, "How can such a tiny drop of water wear down solid rock?" Her uncle calmly replied, "Not every drop of water can do this, but when they fall continuously over a long time, they can carve into the stone. Persistence is the real strength." Lynn listened and felt a new light dawning in her mind. She realized that success does not come from haste, but from continuous effort, no matter how small. Lynn sat quietly, listening to her uncle explain the importance of patience. She began to realize that all this time, she had been seeking instant success without paying attention to the daily process of growth. The story of the water drop and the stone made her understand that every effort, no matter how small, contributes to the foundation of future success. She couldn't expect a great result after just a few attempts. Her uncle looked at her kindly and continued, "You see, each tiny drop of water, when it falls consistently and persistently, can create deep marks on hard stone. Life and work are the same. Success does not come from a sudden leap, but from steady steps and relentless effort." Lynn was silent, her mind suddenly clear. She realized that her past worries about results had only made her more exhausted and unproductive. She needed to change her mindset, not just focusing on the final goal, but also valuing the journey, the process of training and learning each day. She decided that she would no longer rush, but instead focus on doing each step well, patiently building her success in her own way. With this lesson, Lynn felt a renewed sense of hope and motivation to continue her journey. After leaving her uncle's workshop, Lynn began to change the way she viewed patience in life. She no longer rushed to see immediate results, but started understanding that all success needs time to grow. Lynn applied this lesson to her work and daily life. She began making more detailed plans for her tasks, focusing on learning and improving each skill with perseverance. Each day, even if she only achieved small results, Lynn no longer felt discouraged. She realized that slow but steady progress was the key to building a strong foundation for the future. Instead of only looking at the final achievement, she started enjoying each step, appreciating even the smallest improvements. In the past, Lynn often compared herself to others and felt inferior. But now, she understood that everyone has their own journey, and that patience is the key factor that allows her to rise. She no longer worried about delays, but focused on doing her best in everything she could. 3 years later, Lynn looked back on her journey and saw a remarkable change in herself. Her small yet persistent efforts over the years had led her to significant success in her work. She was no longer in a hurry or anxious about immediate results, but instead enjoyed the progress she made each day. Lynn became more confident, no longer comparing herself to others, but focusing on self-improvement. She understood that patience was truly the key to achieving long-term success.